Hi everyone. I've gotten so many new followers, and ever since our birth picture was posted on Instagram, I've gotten lots of questions about surrogacy and induced lactation. And so I wrote a blog post that I will be uploading into my blog soon. But I also wanted to do this video talking about induced lactation, how I did it, and hopefully answering most questions that I have gotten. As you can see, I'm nursing him right now. I was about to start the video and then he got hungry. But he was born about a week ago, and because I could no longer carry a baby, we decided to do surrogacy. And we were lucky enough to find an amazing surrogate. And I had thought about doing induced lactation because I breastfed my older son 6 years ago. And as a holistic nutritionist, I know how important breast milk is, not only in terms of nutrients, but also in terms of the immune boosting compounds that breast milk has. And so I thought about it that way. I also wanted to create a closer bond with him, a closer relationship, since I didn't carry him. And so I started looking into it, found that there are several protocols to make it possible, and basically started from there. I hired a lactation consultant because I wanted someone to hold my hand and help me through it. It's a process that can take a few months, and I didn't want to waste time doing something that wouldn't work. And so we decided together that I would do the Newman Goldfarb protocol because that is the protocol that has the highest success rate. And I had a few months before baby came to be able to do it. So basically that process takes about 6 months, and it has 3 stages. The first stage is basically preparing your breasts to produce milk, and you do that through taking birth control, which simulates pregnancy. And so you take birth control, you skip the placebo pills, and you go straight to the next case of birth control pills. So basically tricking your body into thinking that you're pregnant. And that helps with the hormones and helps create the milk ducts, etc. And the second part is to start taking a medicine called domperidone. It is a medicine that is not approved in the US, so I had to order it through online pharmacy in Canada. Then the second phase is to stop taking birth control, which mimics birth, and continue taking the DOM, and then start pumping. And you start pumping and stop taking the birth control about 6 weeks before the baby is born. And then the third phase is once the baby comes, you breastfeed. You can do skin to skin as soon as the baby is born, and then you start breastfeeding from the beginning, and then continue with the DOM, and then start taking some herbs as well to increase your production, and some other supplements that I'll talk about briefly. And then you also continue to pump, because most people that do this don't have a full production by the time that baby's here, and baby eats very little at the beginning, but they increase their consumption pretty rapidly. And so you have to, keep up with that. So in my case, I took birth control for 5 months. I bought the DOM pills. I was not able to take them. Every time I took them, I had horrible side effects. I had nausea that wouldn't stop all day, even vomiting, horrible diarrhea. And after trying for several weeks and having all those symptoms, I decided to stop it because I just couldn't feel like that for 6 months. And because I breastfed my son, I was hoping that just the birth control would help. Since I had already created the milk ducts and my breast already had produced milk before, just hope that it would work. And so I also added a B vitamin because birth control can deplete you of B vitamins. And so at first I didn't take it. And then I could feel that I was feeling more tired than usual. And so I added a B vitamin that I actually have. It's a B complex vitamin every day, and that helped a lot. I also doubled my dose of probiotics because birth control can also mess with your gut bacteria. So I stopped taking birth control 6 weeks before baby's due date, and I rented a hospital grade pump. Mine is a Medela Symphony. I also started taking, while I started pumping, I started taking some herbs and supplements to help. And at first, I pumped for 15 minutes every 3 hours. And then during the night, I would wake up once between 3 and 5 a.m. to pump. My lactation consultant said that that is the time when prolactin is the highest. Prolactin is the hormone that tells your body to produce more milk. And so I did that. It was also training for when baby came and I had to wake up in the middle of the night. But the first couple of days I didn't see anything, so I didn't know if this would work or not. But by the third day, I got 1 drop out of each breast, which is not a lot, but I was really excited because it meant that it was working. And so little by little, I started producing more and more. And, once I had enough, I started saving it in a syringe. And then that became ounces, and, I could see my production going up and up and up, which was amazing. I was trying, a bunch of different things. By around week 3 or 4, I was producing about 4.5, 5 ounces, and I saw it kind of stabilize there. And it was mainly because my period returned after, all those months of taking birth control. And then, around a month after I started pumping, I got my period. And it's pretty usual that even with breastfeeding moms that your production takes a hit when you get your period. And so my lactation consultant recommended that I do a power pumping session a day or 2, 1 or 2 pumping power sessions a day to help, boost my production. And a power pumping session is basically you pump for 20 minutes and then you rest for 10, and then you pump for 10 minutes and then you rest for 10, and then you do a final 10-minute pump. So it kind of mimics a baby's cluster feeding, and it did help a lot for me. I only did it like once a day because it's a lot of pumping. And adding, that basically 1 hour long pumping session can be hard. But I did see that my production started to go out, and then I started making 6 ounces, 7 ounces, 8 ounces. Then I made like 10 ounces, and that's where I peaked basically. In terms of the supplements that I took, full disclosure, I am the founder of a supplement company myself. And so I truly believe in the power of nutrients for overall health. And I think that they do make a big difference when pumping and producing milk. So I'll show you, I think he's done eating here. I'll show you some of the things that I took. A postnatal by Mothernutrient. This is my brand actually. This is super complete, and it has basically all the nutrients that a postpartum mama needs. I wanted to make sure that I was providing all the nutrients that baby needs, as well as the ones that I needed in producing milk so that I wouldn't become depleted. I also take this lactation booster. It's called Cash Cow, made by Legendary Milk. It's also an Austin-based company. And this one contains alfalfa, moringa, goat's rue, and nettle, all organic, and they all boost lactation production. I also take biotin gummies. Basically, biotin, most people have heard it's good for your skin, nails, and hair, but it also helps, renewal of the breast tissue. And my breast tissue, as I've learned through all this pumping, is pretty dense and, more propense to getting mastitis or thrush or other things. And so taking the biotin has helped kind of like loosen that tissue and help the milk flow. Like I mentioned before, I take a women's probiotic. There's been some studies that have been done in postpartum moms taking probiotics compared to moms who didn't take probiotics, and have shown that babies of mothers who took it have lower levels of colic or reflux, and even like a 27% reduction in eczema. And I didn't take probiotics when I fed my older son, and he was pretty colicky, and so I definitely wanted to avoid that this time around. I also had mastitis 5 times when I breastfed my son, my oldest son. And at first I took antibiotics, and then I discovered that there are actually probiotics that help prevent it and treat mastitis. And so I take this breastfeeding probiotic, also by Mothernutrient. And so far so good. Haven't got mastitis yet. I also take Endura. This is, it helps with hydration. It's basically electrolytes. When I was doing research on, what I could take for, to increase my supply and help me produce more milk, hydration is key. And, a lot of people recommend that nursing mothers take Gatorade or some other electrolytes. And those are full of sugar or high fructose corn syrup. And so I found this one made by Metagenics that it only has, I think like 2 grams of sugar. Yeah, 2 grams of sugar. And it's sweetened with stevia. And the ingredients are pretty good. So one of these sachets that you put in like 1 glass of water is the equivalent of 3 glasses of you drinking 3 glasses of water. And so that helps me keep up with hydration. I also take this mother's milk tea. And I have definitely seen an increase in my supply. I try to take 2 to 3 cups per day. What else? I also take Lactation Bites by Mashka. I ran out and I have not the new ones yet, but basically they're little bites, kind of like little cookies, and I take them as dessert, and they help boost your milk production. And I like them because they have very few organic and unprocessed ingredients, and they're sweetened with dates. So I'm not adding like a bunch of stuff to a bunch of sugar. Also take organic ashwagandha, also by Mothernutrient. This is an Ayurvedic herb that has been used as a galactagogue. Galactagogue are basically herbs that help boost your milk supply. It has been used in India for thousands of years. But the main purpose of ashwagandha is that it helps control stress by decreasing cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And it has really helped me because my pumping started 2 weeks. I started pumping 2 weeks before the whole, coronavirus happened, and 2 weeks before the, stay in place. And so, dealing with all this uncertainty, about to have a baby in this pandemic, I was pretty stressed about it. So this helped a lot, helped me sleep better, helped me reduce my stress and anxiety. So I love it. I also take this. golden collagen. It's basically kind of like a golden milk. It's a little powder. It smells delicious. And it increases milk production because it has really good ingredients like fenugreek and moringa, cardamom, obviously the turmeric that helps with inflammation after birth. And it also has grass-fed collagen peptides. I like to drink it with coconut milk as a tea, but you can also make it iced, and I add it to pancakes and smoothies. So that's delicious. Anyway, so I think that's all the things that I take now. And that really helped me boost my production. And like I said, I was making about 10 ounces a day before baby was born. And he was actually born a little after his due date. So it really gave me almost 7 weeks of pumping milk. And I started to save those in 5-ounce quantities and froze them so that I would be able to supplement him with that, because I wasn't sure of what my supply would be when he came. But if I needed to add to what I produced, I could also give him breast milk. So baby was here. We had an amazing home birth. Our surrogate was amazing. And I was able to catch him when he was born and do immediate skin to skin, which helps a lot with milk production. And put him to the breast, and he latched really, really fast. And he has been eating nonstop since. He is a really, really good eater. I think it definitely also helped, create that bond and connection. I just immediately fell in love with him, and I love breastfeeding him, being able to feed him. That was amazing, an amazing feeling, really. And so the first 4 to 5 days, babies don't really eat much. And so my production was more than he needed. So we did great. But around day 4 or 5, then they actually drink 10 ounces, which was what I was producing. So I needed to keep breastfeeding and pumping so that I could produce more than 10 and sort of keep up with his needs. And that has been pretty challenging, having a newborn, not really sleeping at night, breastfeeding, and then on top of that pumping. The majority of moms that do induced lactation do it for adopted babies or births via surrogacy. They only produce a portion of what a baby needs. But in my book, success is being able to produce any milk and being able to breastfeeding some, even if it's not full. At this point, I am supplementing about half of the feedings. He's about a week and a half old, and I just continue to work on my supply as much as I can without adding too much stress, because stress can decrease your production too. So the way that we supplement is through this, and I was just doing it, so I have it over here. This is called an SNS system. You basically put it around your neck. And then it has this little, and then you put the milk in here, the milk that you want to supplement, and it has this little thin flexible straws that then you put on your breast, and then when the baby latches, it goes into his mouth, and then as he sucks, he stimulates your breast, he feeds through your breast, but he's also suckling from the SNS. And this is a way to keep him at the breast. The more that he stimulates, the more that you produce. And then this way you don't have to deal with, nipple confusion or any of those other issues if you were to introduce a bottle. Anyway, I think that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I have all this written down in a blog post on my Mothernutrient website. I will share the link. Also, tag anyone that you think might benefit from this. And just to end, I would just have to say that it was hard. Pumping is not for the faint of heart. I almost quit twice. I had to deal with thrush, which is common in people that take birth control or antibiotics. I had tooth surgery a month before I started pumping, and so I had to take antibiotics. And so that combination kind of like lowered my good gut bacteria, and I ended up having thrush. And then after that, I had to deal with vasospasms from, not having the right flanges for pumping. So I definitely recommend that if you are going to do something like this, I mean, this is hard work, that you hire a lactation consultant that can help you overcome all of these issues, because so many things, can happen in trying to, produce and extract breast milk. And I am glad that nowadays people are more tolerant of people breastfeeding around, because I just can't imagine after going all of this, being shamed for breastfeeding my baby outside. So I'm glad that people are more open to it. And also to have a good support system, if your partner, your friends, your lactation consultant, even my 6-year-old son, he was very patient. Mommy has to pump. Now I have to do this. Help me out. Bring me this. I would definitely recommend you have a good support system trying to do this. Anyway, I just wanted to share my journey and my story, hoping that it could inspire and motivate people that want to do it or are thinking about doing it. And so feel free to share it. Thank you.